What's going on YouTube? What is happening, YouTube? We're live again. We are live, guys. What's going on? One person watching right now. What's going on YouTube? What's up, my dude? It's like same time every time. Good to see you, man. Okay, let's dive right into it. How has been your weekend? What's going on, Puya? Glad to have you here for the journey today. Let me just set up my stuff real quick and then we'll get right into it. Yeah, so how was your weekend? Guys, tell me in the chat, how was your weekend? Let me know in the chat what you guys did over the weekend. Okay, configure. While I'm doing this, while I'm configuring all this stuff. At work right now? Which time zone are you based out of? Are you like EST or San Francisco? Or are you in like Southeast Asia, East Asia? Let me know. Okay, let me move the stuff right here for OBS. Oop, it's gone. It is gone. Yeah, Tesco, let me know what you've been up to over the weekend. Oh, Italy, let's go. What's the weather like over there? What's happening nowadays in Italy? I actually never been, but definitely on my list. Definitely on my list. I'm thinking next year. Perhaps next year. I'll be doing a little bit of traveling. But yeah. So what's like the best thing to do in Italy, actually? Tell me. What's up, Lightning? I don't think we've met before, Lightning. Welcome to the stream. Usually I do this like once every day for like about an hour, half an hour. And then I'll just vibe code using mostly Claude Code to do some stuff. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. Take care of some business. So yesterday, yeah, I recommend you have a whole Italy trip. Drop me a message. Yeah, man. Here, let me send you my, if you look me up on LinkedIn, add me on LinkedIn. So my name's just Hai Yim. And that's my profile on LinkedIn. So look me up. We're going to connect. So when I go to Italy, I'll have a friend. I try to do that everywhere I go. For example, I was thinking about going to Japan recently, and I just hit up like the folks at Notion so that I can go to Notion HQ and hang out there. It's almost like a life hack. So like the tech community, like it's usually, you know, every city has like a meetup of some kind, right? Like multiple meetups. And if you go to like any major city on earth, there's gonna be like an AI meetup or like some sort of meetup for tech people. And you can always crash those things and make new friends. I mean, that's what I did when I moved to Ottawa. I went to a React.js meetup, and that's where I met a lot of the close friends that I have now. Where am I from? Originally not from Canada, but I live in Canada now. But originally I'm from Vietnam. So born and raised in Vietnam, left the country at 17 and moved to the US for school. And then about like five years ago I moved to Canada. Yeah, so yeah, meetups are base, exactly. And then once you go to a meetup, like everybody who came to the meetup wants to come to the meetup to talk to people, right? So you just meet people who essentially wants to meet new people. So there'll be like hey, like, who are you? Like, they're very open to talking to you and meeting up with you. And you can also like continue the conversation outside the meetup, which is really great. But yeah, so with that being said, let me just double check here what we're gonna do. Okay. Hackathon. Okay, let me pull up my project here. But yeah, like, Lightning, where you based out of, man? Or woman, let me know. Let me know which part of the world you're based out of. I wish to meet Andre Kaparthy. I don't know him personally, but he's based out of San Francisco, as far as I know. He used to work at Tesla and then OpenAI, and now he works at his own company. It's like a AI education company. I'm actually not super sure. From Mumbai, India. Shout out to my Indian viewers, man. There's so many of them on here. And like my open source career, actually, a lot of them were supporters in the beginning. I found hackathons to be a great place to both meet potential partners, and mentor employers. That is 100% true, because when you're in a hackathon, you're there to do work, and then you get to see the chance to see how other people work. So before I dive into this, in the next couple of weeks, I'm actually going to be hosting a hackathon in my city. The theme is going to be projects that make the most amount of money, revenue over the weekend. So people get to build something for 2 days, and then there are prizes for, most revenue, most amount of people on a wait list, and a few other fun stuff like best costume and stuff like that. Because apparently it's on the same day as Comic-Con in my city. So we're trying to get people from Comic-Con to come so they can bring like the costumes and stuff. So we'll give out the best prize for best costume. But yeah, I 100% agree. I think my first pseudo business, I met the people at a hackathon, and then we started a business together. It didn't work out, but it was a hackathon, and that's how I met these people. So go to as many hackathons as possible if you're looking for a co-founder, if you're looking for, and again, like, there's this thing about how hackathons in certain cities are better than others. So if you're in a small town, let's say Lightning, you're in Mumbai. So if you're in Mumbai, it's a great place to be. All the tech talents are there. So you're going to have a great time hanging out at meetups or hackathons. But if you're in like a smaller city, like Boise, Idaho, or something like that, then maybe, so two things could happen. One is all the people who show up are not working on anything cutting edge. Or two, the best people in town, and let's say like 5 of them all show up, and then you meet all the cool people in town in one place. So the key is to always show up to these hackathons. That's what I'm trying to say. What is your project that you're working on? Explain it in short. Talking to me like I'm an LLM. But here it is. So what we've been working on last week was this project here called CLI on the cloud. So what this does is it puts a instance of Claude Code onto a internet sandbox. In this case, Vercel sandbox. And then you can talk to it. You can get it to run tasks in the background, and you can spin up like multiple ones, right? Like 10, 20 of them. The goal is for us to figure out on stream whether or not it is viable to put these CLI agents like Claude Code, Cursor CLI, Codex on web infrastructure. And we did, and it works. You can clone it. We're gonna wrap up this project because the goal for the stream is to do one project per week, and then move on to the next one. So last stream, which was on Sunday, we all agreed that we're gonna improve this other project that I have. I have like multiple open source projects, so now's the chance for us to look at a project that is kind of like not from scratch, but like it's been developed on for a while. So this project is called Homework Grader. What does it actually do? So it allows me as a instructor from my coding bootcamp to be able to drop people's GitHub repos into this, and then have an AI agent give them feedbacks on their code, But what we also want to do is we also want to be able to give people feedbacks on their deployed application. And a lot of times people build web applications, right? So the thinking would be like, okay, can we spin up a hitless browser to kind of look at the people's, like to look at the students' project, their application live, and then kind of like scroll through, click on a bunch of stuff, and then see if it works. Yeah. So that's that. And however, we did commit to other things as well. So for example, we did commit to do this. Parallelize repo parsing and grading so that we can make it faster. Because right now, if I drop in like 50 repos, it'll do it one by one. It's a little bit slow. So we're going to go ahead and tackle this. And then we're going to tackle the, what is it called? The hitless browser thing. So, I apologize, guys. I'm a little bit distracted today. Some personal stuff happened, and if I sound like I'm more eloquent and less random than usual, that's because I'm choosing my words very carefully. Because half of my brain is split thinking about this thing that just happened, and then the other half is thinking about coding, which in turns make me sound very professional and eloquent. And I guess that's just the curse that I've been dealt. Did I buy a new PC? That's not what happened. But thanks for asking. Did I buy a new PC? Well, I made it a point to look at it again when around the end of September. That's when I will probably have the funds to buy it. And I think I'll buy it. Yeah. I think maybe I won't. Let's see. I have some things in mind now that I want to do differently. Like there's a slight change in my plan as of this morning, and I think it's such an incredible time to be streaming right now because the thoughts are so raw in my head, and I'm like making plans for my future self as I'm talking to you guys. And this is like big stuff, like moving country even. So yeah, I think I don't know if I want to buy a big PC. My plan to quote unquote settle down in the city, I don't think I'll move forward with that fully unless there's something that changes my plan. But I think what I'm trying to say is no matter what happens, we're gonna be okay, right? But on the stream today, we're gonna do some coding. That's what we're trying to do. Okay, so let's do this one right here. And I'm gonna open up this right here. I hope you guys can see my screen. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to development. Oh, we're in development. Okay, so CD homework grader. So if you're not familiar with this project that I have, let me just show you what it looks like. Whatever it is, good luck, sir. Thank you. Thank you, buddy. I hope that, I think you mentioned where you're based out of, but I hope one day we can meet in person somewhere. Have a coffee, have a chat. That'd be great. Happy to make a new friend. So, sometimes in life, things happen and it just make you appreciate what you have more. Like, you guys are on here. I'm super grateful for that. I'm grateful to have a community here in my city and be able to do this. Being able to not have to go to work in an office somewhere and just be in my apartment doing the stream here. But yeah, thank you for being here. Whoever the freaking 6 people that are watching, you probably don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I'm grateful that you're here. So the moral of the story is gotta play the game better. Anyways, start, I think. PM start. Okay, so if you don't know what this project does, first thing you're gonna choose a model to grade the students' coding homework, and then you ping my Notion database, and then because our server is cold restarting, why? Because I'm on render, and render, unless I pay like $5, $7 a month, I won't have it always on instance. But this one just dies after a while, so it's taking a while. It's not that it's not working, but it's taking a while. So all I want to do is show you guys what it looks like when it's grading right now. Render is render. Exactly. So let me pull up my Notion here. Homework short. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a look at this and then kind of like see whose homework is kind of like, too long, and I'll just probably remove that one, because sometimes when I'm testing this, some people's projects are super long and like it takes forever to load, and it costs me money as well. Git ingest. And as I'm talking to you guys on stream coding like this, my brain is still thinking about this thing that just happened this morning. But I think things like this keep me on my toes. Yeah. And then, okay, so this person's project's not super long. I think it's this one right here. Yeah, so this person put like multiple projects in the same repo. That's why it's like incredibly long. Even with git ingest, it's like, it takes forever. So what I'm going to show you guys now is I'm going to delete this right here. I'm going to keep 2. All we have to do is figure out if it's actually grading both of these projects at the same time. That's it. And if we can get that to work, then we're done with this task. And then I have to hop off because I gotta go on a mental health walk. Otherwise, Git ingest is a hidden gem for real. Yeah. Well, big secret. I'm building something very similar, but also allows you to kind of like talk to the repo, not just reading it. So we'll see about that. But okay, so we got the Notion database. Is your chat in your desktop froze? I don't think so. Is it? Oh, you know why? It's because there's a delay between like what I stream versus like what you guys can see. So actually, let me just double check OBS right here. OBS, stream camera. Okay, so my face hopefully is back on the stream. Yeah. Yeah, I do read the chat. It's on the screen, but yeah. Okay. I was thinking about not streaming today, actually. I was thinking about just sitting here, just collecting my thoughts. But I think during times of change, it's better to have some sort of a habit to stick to. Okay, so I have connected this to my Notion. And now it's letting me, do all these things, traversing. Let me just connect it again so it can see the updated homework page. So homework short is this one right here. If I press G, it'll start to grade these projects. What I want to do is also to remove some of these columns because I don't need them. So yeah, I'm curious if I can just delete them. Actually, I guess I could. Yeah, all these are generated by our AI agent from the last run that I had. So what I'll do is I'll delete, and I'll probably have to like update the way that it's piping back the results as well. So I'm gonna delete this. Yeah, delete this. Does YouTube chat filter out .com written chats? I think so. I think only I can drop links. I think it's because sometimes people put like crypto links and stuff in there. I didn't do it on purpose, by the way. Like maybe it was put in place by YouTube. But yeah, it's so interesting because like when you have something like happen in your personal life, maybe it's like fresh in your mind, you're like just kind of thinking about it. It's like your brain is drifting back and forth between what you're trying to do and like this other thing. But let's say I'm just doxing this person here, the email. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna run this process real quick. So I delete those things. I'm gonna press G here. It's gonna start grading these homeworks. So what happens is this will go through each of these GitHub projects and then take the URL, the GitHub URL out, and then put it into the sandbox. And then from that sandbox, it'll get all the text, like the files out into one big string. Pipe that into one of our LLMs, in this case, 2.5 Flash Lite, and then generate like a JSON of like the feedbacks. And yeah, so now it says, would you like to save the results, save to original database, which what we were deleting, create Notion database, skip saving, save to files to JSON. Let me just double check the code base real quick. So I do want to save this to JSON because I do think it's a cleaner thing for us to test right now. What's going on, Anthony? Welcome back to the stream. So happy you're here. I'm happy you guys are here. At least I don't feel alone in this moment. But yeah, this is not the project. This is the project. So in here, I'm assuming this in the test results. But then, which ones are the new ones? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I guess we can check that by sorting by dates, I suppose. Date created. So, ooh, it had failed. This one's failed. So, error, grading failed after 2 attempts. The input token exceeds the maximum number of tokens allowed. That's the 13th though. That's not today. So maybe it's this one. This one's created when? This one was created when? July 24th, modify August 18th. So I think we overwrite like some of the old results, which is great. So we'll check this out. I hope you guys can see this, but let me just, if not, I can pull it in the cursor here. So what this looks like is what the gradings for the person's homework submission, aka like a GitHub project. So it has some understanding here, and then all that stuff. Yeah, it's great. What we're trying to do now is we're trying to tell Claude Code to make it parallel. And I'm going to delete this folder so I don't pollute this. Yeah, okay. So Claude. Going to go to plan mode. So clouding time. It's clouding time. Actually, let's read what's new. Add request cancellation support. New additional directories option to search custom paths. Improved /command processing. Validation prevents invalid fields in Claude settings files. MCP, improved tool name consistency. Fix crash when Claude tries to automatically read large files. That's cool. Does the program currently process submissions from Notion DB, aka grading in parallel or sequential right now? I could have gone and looked myself, but I'm lazy. But I'm gonna do it right now. Okay, source, and then I guess I don't remember what's going on here, to be honest. It's been a while. Okay, let's move out the chat here. Is it not hard to use File Explorer on the left side? I have it on right side. Is good. Oh yeah. I think some people like to put it on the right side. Is that like a pie charm thing? Like I'm trying to figure out. Pie charm. I wonder if that's like a habit from like. I knew it. No, actually no. Well, kind of, I guess. Yeah, because in by default, PyCharm you have the files explorer in on the right side. So if you're coming from like JetBrains, you kind of like set it up the same way. Because by default, like VS Code have on the left side, right? So let me know in the chat, like tell me 3 good reasons why I should move to the right. Other than to spike my dopamine, because sometimes things get boring and I need to switch things up. So okay, so we have talked to Claude. Now let's come up with a plan. Okay. The current implementation process submissions sequentially. Okay. Implement a parallel batching process for NotionDB submissions, similar to GitHub CSV GitHub API processing approach. So before we had this like sandbox thing, we used to hit GitHub API endpoint, and that was like very, very ineffective. But at least at the time we had parallel processing. Now what we have to figure out is whether or not, I think I use E2B here. So we had to figure out whether or not E2B, like how many concurrent sandbox are we allowed to have in E2B. However, we don't even need to do that because we could just technically create one sandbox and then in parallel async calls, we just pipe commands to the same sandbox. I believe that's possible. At least I know that Vercel sandbox allows that. Can my app send multiple parallel run command requests to the same E2B sandbox? You said you used to have the file explorer on the left side. What happened? Why did you change side? Let me know in the comments or in the chat. It's possible to issue multiple parallel commands. Just okay. Using background. Okay, cool. Okay. There's no per sandbox and command restriction documented, so we can send like. Basically, the first thing we do is we spin up a sandbox, maybe make it be alive for like 5 minutes, and then we just hammer it with requests, like 50 of them. Okay, so if I can find the documentation for this. Sandbox lifecycle and management API. This is what we need. So we're hitting the API essentially. So it'd be like 20,000 per 30 seconds for the free plan, which is great. Sandbox operations, 40,000. Concurrent, 20. We're just going to use one because we're trying to save money. Yeah. This is something, the reason why I was able to make this decision so quickly was because I thought about this before. Like, should we put a new sandbox for every repo, or should we put on like one sandbox for all the repos? And turns out we're essentially not installing anything on the sandbox. That's why we don't need to be worried about polluting it. All we are doing is just to go into the folders and extract out the code. That's it. So, but I also need the documentation for like calling stuff in the sandbox. Yeah. I'm sorry if the mood is a little bit down today, but I'm a little bit sad. Which makes me in turn appreciate you guys are on the stream, so I'm not alone. Yeah. Okay, so write files, read files. You can read files from sandbox system using files.read method. Okay, whatever. I think we need something like streaming. That's cool. We need not run commands in the background. We don't need to run it in the background. But start command? You seem like you're taking it hella positively. I just think that things usually hit a couple days after. First day, whatever. Couple days after, couple weeks after even. Yeah, that's when real shit hits. But I think I think that sometimes we think about something in the past, we don't remember the bad stuff. We only remember the good stuff in the moment when you're like feeling nostalgic. But yeah, no matter what happens, I'll be streaming every day. That's a good habit that I want to keep. So okay, so let's see here. Create sandbox. I just need to find like the command that allows me to run like basically Unix commands. I just don't remember when I found it. I want to see if I have it in a code base actually. Okay, so we got grader. We got grader here. Not what we need. We got CLI, interactive CLI. Okay, what about sandbox? Where did I put my sandbox? Okay, here, sandbox file processor, index, E2B token storage, sandbox service. Okay, this is what we need. Okay, so we got sandbox create. Good thing everything is clean in here, which makes it easy for Claw to be able to traverse and find where the files are. Get repository files, read file content. Okay, sandbox.commands.run. And I believe this is a class that we interesting. Is this E2B? I wonder. Reveal in a file explorer. Yes, this is E2B, so this is a class of E2B. Okay, so we don't have like an abstraction over our sandbox. What we can do is we can just make this. Well, this is already async. We just run a bunch of these. Easy. So how it works is we're gonna have to because it's a different sandbox every time. So once one sandbox for all the repos. We're gonna have to keep track of them by the name of the folder that the code was, that the repo was cloned into, and then which is run parallel commands to hit those folders specifically. Okay, so hopefully Claude can figure that out. Make sure you understand how our sandbox class works, how it currently send requests. We want to when the grading process start, create one sandbox and send and clone/run commands on the same sandbox in parallel. We don't want to create 10 sandboxes for 10 homework entries. One sandbox for 10 homework entries. That's what we want. Yeah, these feelings comes in wave, guys. Sometimes it'll be like, we're so back. And then we're like, it's so over in my head. But in times like this, I like to think about the things that I'm grateful for. So I'm grateful that my buddy is going to help me move next weekend. Like, he's like, with that hesitation, he's like, I'm gonna pull up, I'm gonna move up your shit, doesn't matter. I'm grateful that I can afford to live in a new place. It's technically cheaper, but like nicer, which is like a weird paradox in today's modern world. I'm grateful to have this community here in my city, and like these friends that I have. Not everything is perfect though. I think a lot of times when in my day-to-day I think about things, I think about like how imperfect they are, like how they're not just quite what I want it to be. I've always thought about like moving to a different city, and you know, when things get rough with something, I always want to move. Unresolved feelings, unresolved conflicts, I'm like, let's start fresh and let's go somewhere else. I think for the first time in my life that I'm like learning how to deal with these things head on and try to like extract lessons from it as opposed to running away. So that's why I think committing to living in the city for another year or 2 years is a great step towards that. Plan for parallel processing with single sandbox. Current state, Notion DB process, sequential, blah, 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 blah. Single sandbox use. You said, test co-host says, I am grateful for where I'm at currently. People around me that support me. Yeah, man. I definitely, yeah. I think it takes like a crisis once in a while to kind of like realize that. But the itching feeling of things not being the way I want it to be is driving factor to change them. Exactly. It's like this itch, this like the sense of, you know, when you go somewhere else and you come back home and you're like, man, like I wish I didn't know it was so cool over there, because now I'm back home unhappy. I'm like itching to go. But then here's the funny part. I wonder if it's really what I really want now. Like maybe what I've been thinking about the whole time, which is change and like improvement and moving, is the real thing. Because I think about that constantly, but then I think maybe sometimes it's just a fear of loss or a fear of uncertainty, fear of being alone that kind of like makes me think that, oh, maybe I thought about things differently. But then at the end of the day, like, you know, if I truly wanted that thing that I used to have, I probably would have acted that way. Yeah, it's hard to tell, but obviously lessons are learned. Okay, so implementation plan. Modify interactive CSV, replace sequential loop with parallel batching. Promise all, this is what we need. Exactly. So we want to wait for all the things to process. Anthony says, grateful for you, brother, putting Ottawa on the map, giving us builder a space and culture to be part of. Always been looking for like-minded builders. Amen, brother. You know I'm going to be devoted to this shit now. I have nothing else going on. All gas, no brakes, baby. Expect some cool ass events. See, the moments like this where I'm like, yeah, we're so fucking back. Yeah. We're so fucking back. Exactly what happened to me, Lamau. I was somewhere probably a year ago and then back at home base currently, but blessing in disguise for real. Tell me more. Enable parallel. Okay, so this works. Threat safe for concurrent calls. Each call already uses unique clone paths. Okay, great. So when we clone something, repo to our sandbox, we actually append a unique ID to it. So when there's no like cloning the same repo to like the same folder twice, essentially. Add concurrency control, implement configurable batch size, default 5 for sandbox, add progress tracking for parallel operations. Parallel operations within single sandbox. Instead of for let I equals 1, use batch size 5. Okay, great. Okay, let's do this. Claude, initiate, whatever the fuck is gonna do. Okay, while it's running, I'm talking to chat. Let's get it, brother. Here for it. And if you ever need anything, something, or anyone, I'm here. I have this thing in my life where I have trouble with receiving praises and like care, like kindness, essentially. Like I think growing up I was never wired or like taught how to like appreciate that. I don't know why. Like when I get critical feedbacks, I used to get really scared. Now I like try to lean in and like learn from it, which is like, I guess, a change. But when I get praise, that stuff usually goes in one ear and then out the other. I never like spend a moment like thinking about any of that, like kindness, praise. Like it always comes in one ear and out the other. So that's something I'm trying to work on. So if somebody say like, "Yo, like this is sick, awesome job," blah, blah, I'm like, my brain's already on to the next thing. What is the next thing I gotta fix? Yeah. So my brain is wired for problems. If you give me a problem, I will go at it. Okay, let's read this code real quick. Sandbox batch size. That basically boils down to getting complimented feels phony and people trying to curry favors. Yeah, part of that is that. That's definitely true, especially when you're in business. I mean, when people reach out to you saying like, "Hey, blah, blah, blah," out of the blue, like obviously they need something from you. Always, 100% of the time. But I'm talking about like, yeah, personal life. Like, I think this morning I woke up and I realized this one big thing, which is that there's a place in time for min-maxing, and it's not personal life. I think from personal life, I think I brought over too much of the min-maxing mentality of like, gotta get the best of this, get the best of that, gotta optimize this, optimize that, gotta have the best version of this, gotta push, you know. But I think that now I'm more cognizant of like when to min-max stuff. Obviously, there's a place and time for that. There are moments where min-maxing has to happen, right? And there are moments where it's like, the point of the game is not to min-max this. The point of the game is to enjoy it one day at a time. So if you're trying to min-max your personal life, man, it makes you miserable, and it makes you fail at it. So let me go back here. What I'm gonna do is I think it's already in, so I'm gonna spin up this again and then trying to run it. PM start Notion database. So this message right here, I might even change it. I might say something like because of a cold start, this may take a moment. Yeah. Hopefully you guys, you see this server is already down. So there's a proxy server that I'm hitting. Oh no. What the heck? Unauthorized. Notion database. Oh, because I changed the code midway, perhaps? Yeah, that's probably it. Okay, so let's see the moment of truth. Can I grade this in parallel? So we don't have any saved results here. Press G. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Auto selecting high confidence GitHub column. Okay, GitHub URL. Yeah, E2B sandbox initialize. That's great because so 10 minutes. That's a decent amount. So E2B sandbox initialize. So first we do one sandbox, and then using sandbox for processing 2, and parallel batches of 5. Okay. Let's try multiple. We're just gonna stop here because I have a lot on my mind right now. But I'm excited about this. This shit cracks me up. This it works. Okay, so we're gonna delete this, and then we're gonna go to let's see. I'm gonna add more rows to this database essentially. I just want to see how fast it'll get. So just bear with me, guys. 1 second. Let me know in the chat if you want to talk about this sentimental shit in the next stream. I know there's only like 5 people watching at most. I can talk about what the hell I want. Nobody's gonna watch this, so I'll talk about real shit. You know what I mean? Won't hold back. But what I'm trying to do right now is find more projects to put in there. So I'm gonna copy a few. Let's say I'm gonna do like 5. I'd say 5, and then I'm gonna paste that into my Notion DB, but I can't. Apparently I can't. Okay. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna truncate an existing database, clone it, and then test it on that. We're almost there, guys. Like the stream is about to be over because we've accomplished our goal. And I'm so glad that I hop on here today with you guys, because I think if I were to like call it off, thinking nobody would like care, I think that would have been bad for me. I think now's the time to not be alone for a little bit, even with strangers on the internet. But I'm trying to select a whole bunch of stuff here, but I can't. Let me not dox these people, actually. Let me just delete these rows on my own. Let me share my screen in a bit. Okay, so we got about, like, let's say, how many repos are there? Let me count that. Also, Notion made it so that when you want to have like an aggregation number at the bottom of the row, it's actually, you click on the column name now instead of like at the bottom. So for the longest time, I'm like, where the hell does this go? Like, yeah, super weird. So we got 8 here. As you can see, we've got 8 here. We can process 5 at the same time. I'd say we bump it up to 8. So let's see. Let's see. Skip saving files. Okay. Homework grader. Okay, great. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to find where the batch number is. Change that to maybe 10. I want to do 10 at the same time. So would that be in lib? Would that be in constant limits? Yeah, number of URLs in parallel, sandbox batch size 10. I don't know what the other one is. There's this feeling of sadness that is overwhelming in my body right now. But we're gonna pull through. We're gonna get this shit done, guys. This is gonna be so memeable. Like a year from now, I'll be watching this stream and be like, what the hell is he talking about? Okay, so we're gonna do this, start this, and then so now it's supposed to run 10 at the same time. I'm here for you, bro. I'm really looking forward to this. Love having fellow grinders while at work, bro. So you're in my city, so you know how Shopify like does like Builder Sunday, but only in Montreal and Toronto. We're gonna start doing Builder Sunday here in Ottawa. Yeah. Not that I'm petty or anything, but we're doing that. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, Notion database. Hopefully it's not too. Yep, server's still alive, so it's quick. Homework short. I need homework short 2. What the hell is that? I also need to fix these navigation buttons. It's just kind of wonky. Homework short. What? I wonder which one it is. What did I name it? Why did it name it short? Oh my god. Short 2, brother. Okay, back out. No? Okay, back out. Do it again. Okay, Notion. Okay, homework. Short 2. There we go. Okay, moment of truth. Can this run super fast? Here we go. Okay, we're running it in parallel. Type shit. All right. Oh man, so fast. Dude, we have accomplished it. Guys, paralyzed. All right. Commit. I wonder if AI can write a good commit for this. Nope. I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm just gonna push it. Yeah, I'm surprised I was able to pull through and do this, but thank you guys so much for being here today. I will be on again tomorrow. I, however, will not be able to be on, I think, 30th and to maybe like the 5th of September, because I'm moving to a new place I won't have Wi-Fi unless I go to a co-working space and stream from there. I really do want to keep this habit up, so I might do that. But thank you for being here for me today, guys. I really appreciate it. Shout out to all my buddies in East Asia and here at home. Shout out to the people who dropping in and out. But until tomorrow.